my name is Nevada and today I'll be exploring the entrepreneurial qualities of Alfred Hitchcock. He is known to be one of the most influential filmmakers in cinematic history. Alfred Hitchcock grew up in London. At a young age, he showed interest in art and storytelling, and this inspired his future style of storytelling. Alfred Hitchcock was an excellent entrepreneur, but not in the traditional business sense. However, he was a creative who implemented his entrepreneurial traits and skills to his work. His product was creating suspenseful stories through the medium of film. His films were open about subjects perceived as taboo in the 20th century. He was known for his innovative film techniques and his masterful skill of building suspenseful narratives. Hitchcock didn't just create cult films, he turned himself into a recognizable figure. He did this with cameo appearances in his own films, along with hosting his own television show called Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Creativity, strategic thinking, and innovation made Alfred Hitchcock's films successful. Hitchcock is a visionary filmmaker who took suspense and turned it into his trademark. Skill 1. Hitchcock strategically planned his stories. He did this by storyboarding his entire films months before shooting. This allowed him to visually plan out how to create the most tension in a narrative. Skill 2. Hitchcock's public persona was glorified. He turned himself into a trademark by hosting his own show and having unique, dry, witty humor. This made him instantly recognizable to anyone. His entrepreneurial traits and skills set him apart from most filmmakers. He was a creative entrepreneur who built a lasting legacy in cinema. Alfred Hitchcock faced many financial and creative challenges during his career. His biggest challenge was Hollywood's studio system. The system limited filmmakers' creative control. Paramount Pictures initially refused to finance the film Psycho due to its controversial subject matter, such as murder, sexuality, and the infamous shower scene. Studios also thought that the novel written by Robert Bloch, which the movie was adapted from, was tasteless. Hitchcock overcame these challenges by becoming a producer-director. This gave him control over the artistic and financial elements of his films. Hitchcock took a risk and funded his own film himself by selling his house and shooting on a tight budget. Psycho became one of his biggest hits and changed the genre of horror thriller. When the studio recognized the film's success, they agreed to distribute it. It is still one of the biggest hits to this day. Alfred Hitchcock's skills were observation, experimentation, associational thinking, and networking, and he used these skills to generate business insights. Watching people in different circumstances who are trying to do a job and gaining insight about what job they really want to get done can set off innovation, and this is what Hitchcock did. Hitchcock observed how the audience reacted in his suspenseful films, and he saw that they did not watch just for fear, but also in anticipation of the fear to come. Hitchcock himself is famously quoted saying, "There is no terror in the bang, only in the anticipation of it." For Hitchcock, true fear is formed through emotional suspense and not just the outright violence. Hitchcock captured the audiences by showing, not telling. Master of suspense, who always made the audience suffer as much as possible. He experimented and successfully carried out taking audiences on a ride, cutting the dull bits out, and getting them fully invested in compelling yet concise story. With a screenplay duration that was enough for the endurance of the human bladder. It as if Hitchcock knew what audiences wanted deep down. Whether it was a cry or a laugh or to be scared, he gave them films that were worth it and catered to whose desires. He wanted to give the audience some pleasure, the same pleasure they have when they wake up from a nightmare. Moreover, Hitchcock also adapted the dolly zoom technique, as well as the subjective POV shots from experimental cinema, and applied them to his own mainstream thrillers. This innovation can be seen in his film Vertigo. Hitchcock's success was not only from his artistic talent, but also from his entrepreneurial skills. He practiced associational thinking by taking on multiple roles in the film industry. Apart from directing, he took on multiple roles in writing, design, and production. He was both an engineer and an artist, and he even hosted his own television show, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. As further application of his entrepreneurial side, Hitchcock was not a stranger to networking. He collaborated with the legendary actors from Hollywood like Cary Grant, Ingrid Bergman, and Jimmy Stewart. He also tried to get writers like Ernest Hemingway, Vladimir Nabokov. Hitchcock even brought surrealism to Hollywood when he called artist Salvador Dali and ordered a nightmare for the dream sequence in his 1945 film Spellbound. My vision for the future consists of working in the film industry. I have always been passionate about stories, so I would like to have a career and work environment that focuses on storytelling. I would like to have a strong influence on how a story is told, so roles like directing, writing, or editing would allow me to have that control. If I were to choose one of these roles, for example, if I were a director, the other roles such as writer and editor would be my collaborators. Our key tasks would be to create emotional impact, structure the story, and develop an overall energy of the film. In the coming years, I imagine working alongside other creatives, such as writers, actors, cinematographers, and editors who also share a passion for the emotional impact of a narrative. We would work in a collaborative environment where we can experiment with different genres and narrative styles. This vision helps guide my current learning. I want to develop and master a deeper understanding of cinematic storytelling, language, structure, and writing, so I can become a strong creative leader with whichever path I choose. At this point, I feel more connected to my soft skills than hard technical ones. I'm naturally a creative person, and I frequently come up with ideas, concepts, and story directions that may push my boundaries. I also consider myself a problem solver and a team player. I need and want to improve my hard skills, especially when it comes to software and technology. I find myself getting confused with editing programs and computer-based tools. My goal for myself moving forward is to gain confidence with these systems. I need more experience with a range of things. The skill I want to learn how to master the most is writing, especially when it comes down to writing scripts. If I master this, it will allow me to tell stories confidently and will let me broaden my storytelling. The ability to write strongly and structured scripts will help me communicate my stories more clearly and confidently. It will also allow me to be able to explore new styles, genres, and emotional depths in storytelling. I would also like to build a stronger foundation of hard skills across the filmmaking process, such as experience with industry standard software and improve my understanding of cinematography and editing techniques. These skills would give me the technical freedom to bring my creative ideas to life. Overall, these skills will also develop the attributes of leadership, adaptability, and communication, which are vital for working in collaborative environments. I have to put in the work and stay motivated to want to learn. If I commit to spending some time every day learning something that has to do with film, I trust that I will definitely be moving forward. Developing the skills and attributes I need for my future in film will require consistency, effort, and motivation. I see that people have to put in the work, especially when it comes to things that challenge them. For me, my challenges are with technical software and writing. My goal is to dedicate time to learning or revising film-related content, such as reading up about how to structure scripts, watching feature films or short films, and watching video essays. Over time, this consistent film reviewing will build my understanding and confidence. I also plan to take advantage of my resources around me, such as workshops and feedback from peers and lecturers. These things will be essential for my long-term progress.